A lot of clinicians underestimate what can be achieved in a short period of time. So I was speaking with a couple of new practice owners today, and their goal was to hit 60 to 70 visits per week within 3 months. And that seemed like a good goal. It seemed like a big goal that they could achieve, and a target that they really wanted to hit, because then that would allow them for them both to be working full time on the business. And that seemed like a goal. 3 months, like that seemed a good time frame. But what I ended up doing was changing the belief on what they could see was possible in such a short period of time. With that, and I showed them case studies and the proof of this. So with that, people underestimate then the skills it requires to achieve that goal, because they think it seems like an impossible thing because of that's how they've been practicing up till this point. Maybe they've worked in a clinic, maybe they've just always relied on referrals and things like that. So when it comes time to growing, it just seems like an impossible task. But when I showed them like what our clinic did when we had new associates starting, they got up to 200 visits per week within 8 weeks. I showed them Ash, who got to 52 new clients booked in for opening day, and he was up to 100 visits a week by week 3, I think it was. Dakota had 70 people booked in for opening day in his brand new practice. That the results can come much, much quicker when you've got a plan, but most people just don't have a plan and don't have the foggiest idea on what they should be doing. Therefore, things can just seem so complex and you push your timeframes back. And I'm all for being conservative, but also we got to have a goal and let's frickin' achieve it. Especially if you're starting your own practice, go all in, but just have the plan to make sure that you can actually achieve that. Because what a lot of people do, and this is what 2 other guys who I actually spoke with today did, which is you build the practice and then think about the marketing. But the marketing is the practice, or the audience is the practice. Because you can have the best looking clinic in the world. You can have the best tables. You can have the best equipment. You can have the best x-ray machine. You can have the best services. You can have the best delivery system in the world. But if it's in Antarctica, you ain't going to be getting nobody. It doesn't matter how much you've spent on the practice. It doesn't matter how much you've spent on anything. If the audience isn't there, there's no point building the business, right? It's like that classic thing. Where would you most like to build a business? Where there's a starving crowd. But most build the business because it's down the road from where they are. And if that's what you've already done, cool, we've just got to work with that. So I actually worked with someone last year or earlier this year who was thinking of setting up a practice. So then what we did was work backwards to find out where is going to be the best place where the audience is who are going to pay to actually come into the practice. And then let's just build the practice there, rather than making it way harder. Because then what people will finally end up doing is when they are in practice and they've built everything, they're paying the rent and stuff, and then they start running some ads and they're like, oh, my cost per lead's way more expensive than I was expecting. But sometimes that is just down to the area. There is not anything we can do to get around it. It doesn't matter if you're running the ads, if you've got an agency, what creative you do, no much. However much creative you do put out, however much content you do put out, it may just be that you're in a more expensive area to get a new client. And I get to see this from around the world. Therefore, the audience is the business. The business is not just the 4 walls within which you practice. You've got to have the system in place to be able to get these people on board. And then your time frame of what you think can be achieved in terms of visits that you're seeing per week can be completely collapsed from 60 visits a week in 3 months down to you could have that for opening day.